Hello everybody, it's Rama and I am back with my tag books. So I posted my first video. The first video in this series was showing how to make these books two different ways. I did the accordion hinge and then I did the tab binding. So I made 6 of them and I'm finally finished decorating them. So I will put the links to those videos if you want to check that out, how to make the base of these tag books. I also have in this little Halloween series that I'm doing, I had all of these, all these tags that I did. I ended up with so many of them. I sent a bunch of them out for Happy Mail. Go back and they all have a little charm, a little skeleton charm. Went over them with glossy accents. I don't know if you can kind of see there, just only the cat, whatever the focal point was. So here's one, and the cats are the ones that have the purple paper on the back. And again, these are food packaging, covered food packaging boxes, so they're really sturdy. These are, that's almost 3.5, maybe 3.25 by approximately 7. So these are large tags. And here's the other one in the back. Having so much fun with these things that I just don't even know what did I show in the video and what did I not. So I'm gonna have 4 cats, 4 of the witches, and 4 of my Bat Girls paper dolls that I did, and they're gonna be in my Etsy shop. The witches have the black paper on the other side, and I did the same thing, glossy accents. So there's one, we're caught here. There's a second one. I know I have the video showing how I put the elements together. It's another one here because I did lots of different layers and I talked about all the elements that, you know, I kind of prepared and gathered up, like the die cuts, different fabrics. I did some stamped images and I embossed it, and paper lace. Here's one that I embossed. So just some stuff that I kind of prepared ahead of time, and then I just surrounded myself with all of these goodies to play with. And then here is my last one of the witches. So those are the 4 witches. And then these are my paper dolls that I made out of the bottles. And again, I'll link this video. I made the paper dolls. I ended up making tags to put them on. So here's one, and these just have tea-dyed paper backing. Here's another one. So I did a bottle die cut. I put bat wings on them. And of course, I love playing with the glasses and all my different paper doll parts. Just some die cuts on the back of these. So those will be in my shop. Next, I want to show you all my books because I'm really excited about these. So when I posted one of the videos, I said that if you are here watching the video, it was halfway through, to in the comments write Spooky Diva. So my idea was I am going to give some away as a surprise, and the rest of them will be in my Etsy shop. So congratulations to Sandy Pierce and Natalie Thompson. Natalie, you get first pick, and Sandy, you get second pick. So whatever you want, I'm gonna send this out to you. Thank you so much for supporting my channel and watching my videos. I appreciate it so much, and this is a special surprise for you. I hope you love it as much as I loved making these. I'm gonna start with these 3. And then the other 3, I'm gonna actually show you in this video. So after I do the flip through, I'm gonna show you a little bit more of how I decorated the other 3 books. So first of all, I just out all these fibers that I used on them, I love. I've got this is Tim Holtz ephemera kit. I put some bling on here. My paper lace, of course. I'll put a list of all the digitals and the shops that I use, because I did use a lot of digitals. The majority of them are from G&T DESIGNS, like these paper dolls. All of the tags are the paper that I use to cover them. My backgrounds and all the houses that you can see here, those are all from G&T. My bug little stamp, and this is embossed, so all of the tags have this on the front. Have our little cat over here, and here we just have some ephemera pieces. I'm not going to pull every single thing out. I did some more bottles, and I also added some of my tea bags that I made, my tea bag tags. So they're double-sided and have little sayings on them. Can put some of those down in there. And these are just little tickets that are stickers. Digitals are from Miles Beyond the Moon. So I really mixed and matched a lot, you guys. I used so much stuff in here. And then this page, I did my little waterfall notebook with some purple dyed paper that I did. I had this in my stash. Another witch over here. And we go to the back. This is one of my paper dolls that I did, one of my bat ladies. And then this page in the center, got another one of my little ladies here. I want it to be so bulky, so on most of the spreads, I would do, you know, a collage thing, maybe a little tuck area, and then something like a pocket on the other side. So over here, I have one of my little books that I did. Let me see, there we go. So this pulls out, and it's double-sided. I guess I should turn it this way so it's not upside down. Cute little images. And in each of these books, I have a one of my paper dolls that I made, and I just put on another tag. And then we're back to the beginning. So this is the first one. And I think in order to separate these, to tell them apart, I am just going to call them kind of what it has on the front. So we're going to call this one Happy Halloween. For my second one here, again, we've got our little charm. This one has a little ghost on it. Let's see what the first one had on it. Oh, the first one had a moon. So this one has the skeleton, a ghost, some black beads. I'm going to call this book Tricks and Treats. So we open up here, and again, we've got the collage here with all these different fun fabrics on here. And then on this side, just have a pocket stuffed with some goodies. Again, my bottle die cut. And I just put some of these guys in. I liked adding the color. So it's just a die cut leaf. You can stick in here or use somewhere else. And then, so we have our collage on this side. And then here, this is kind of like a belly band. And this is the tag. Like I said, I have a tag with one of my dolls on each book. Then on the back of this one, we slide the soda tab down. I did the tab binding on this book. So it just opens like a regular book does. And then we close the little tab to hold it shut. This is Tricks and Treats. Next one here, this is a tab book binding. And this one I'm going to call Ghost Town. So this one has a moon with the little skeleton charm here. So the first page here, we've got our waterfall notebook. And then on the other side here, we have our paper doll tag and one of my tea bag tags that I did. Page. So this is the doll that I made. the one that's in this book, and then just 2 of my bottle die cuts on the last page. And we just have some goodies over here. Have another one of my bottles. I just love all the different colors of these. A little piece of ephemera, and then this is a Tim Holtz photo, October 31st, and I put some crackle paint on there. It's kind of cool little piece. And then we come to the back, and on the back here we have our 2 tabs that we have to open up, and then our book pulls out this way. I will flip it to the other way. This is Ghost Town. This one is kind of funny. We're gonna call this one Condemned. Just let me turn this around here. A tombstone and a little skeleton. And then this one, we're gonna open the tabs here. So we've got all of our spooky photos. And then go down this way for all our spooky photos. I just love this little boy. I want my mummy. We have some more Miles Beyond the Moon. These are all my papers that I did playing around, collaging and things. This is a tag that I did. This is a super thick tag. And we just have some little goodies here. And then our next page here, got a really intricate collage going on here. And then this is a belly band, and I do show this in the video. And then we have our Batgirl tag. And then we're at the end here. And this is a paper clay frame, and just painted that orange. And that's a Tim Holtz photo inside there. I put some crackle paint on also. I just did a little tuck here to put my tea bag tag. Tim Holtz paper doll here, also with some crackle paint. So this flips up. And I just had a little tag in there. We're back at the beginning. So this book is Condemned, and this one is The Accordion Hinge. So in this video, I start out with this one, and I don't show this cover because I kind of just went crazy on the cover and then realized I was not filming. You see, this one has a little pumpkin on it. We'll call this one The Strange Story. Okay, so here, got a little image. And then some more of my bottles that I did here. I made this a flip up. So flips up, just have a little jar here, mason jar, and just some little goodies down here too. And over here, another Tim Holtz doll with the crackle paint. And some of my goodies in here. Bottles I did. This is watercolor paper, avocado dyed. I did this with my avocado dyed paper. Want my tea bag tag in this one. And then here, this is just a collage with the frame. I did messy sewing around, and my Batgirl tag. My back page, I have that I want my mummy again because it just cracks me up with these little kid spooky things. So this one pulls down. Here we go. And then we got the other side here. And there we have The Strange Story. And this one is the tab binding. Last one. Oh my goodness, what are we gonna call this? Maybe we'll just call this one Boo. So Tim Holtz dolls here with the crackle paint. And then in here, so I have a whole bunch of paper dolls. So I just put some of the paper dolls I have left in here. a lot of just little ephemera pieces. Here's another one, a leaf. Then this is a photo from Tim Holtz. Then on this page, we have another doll. I didn't use this one, but I had to put it in here because I thought it was really cool. I like her dress, and I did the crackle paint on her. Here is my Batgirl for this one. And I don't know if you can see here, I used that produce packaging stuff, and I painted it. I have a couple of tags together here. And then I left these because I thought, well, I put some paper dolls and things in here, so maybe you want to do your own thing. Maybe you want to write here. Just some more little goodies. And again, got our double tabs, and pull this open. Here's our flip to the other side. Here I have my tea bag tag. Some more little paper dolls and ephemera pieces. If you want a book that you want to sort of play around in, this is a good one because I just kind of put a lot of extra ephemera pieces. Or if you do purchase one of these and you want to play around in it, just send me a message with the order and say that you kind of want some goodies to play with, and I will put some in. So these were just so fun. So again, we're going to call this one Boo. And Boo is an accordion hen. Once again, thank you to Sandy and Natalie, and you can message me and let me know which one you choose. We have Boo. We have A Strange Story. We have Condemned, Ghost Town, Tricks and Treats, Happy Halloween. And so now for the rest of the video, I am going to carry on. I'm going to show you how I put these guys together. So stick around for that process, and thank you so much for watching.
So I finished this one page before I remembered to turn on my video, but it's okay because I pretty much use all the same elements and a lot of the same techniques for the rest of the page. Just so my book doesn't get too bulky, I pretty much stick with the idea of doing a pocket on one side and some sort of a collage on the other side. So I'm starting off and thinking about, the papers that I want to use for my pocket. And I have this Tim Holtz photo that I put some crackle paint on, and I have the frame around it, and I had the idea that I could make it flip up. So that's what I decided to do on the right side of this page. And bouncing around a little bit here, I had this ruffle, and I decided to put this on the cover somehow. So I stapled it on. I did end up going and using my sewing machine and sewing it on, and later in the video I used some double-sided sticky tape also just to kind of help hold it into place. So now I'm back to my photo again and still playing around with this piece of ruffle fabric that I made. So I just want to glue my photo down onto this base piece of paper. And I'm going to go around this and do some sewing, some messy sewing. And so that's why I'm just using the piece of the double-sided sticky tape. This is just to kind of hold it in place for the time being. And now I'm showing that I did go around and did some messy sewing. So now I'm going to go ahead and glue the flap down onto my page. And I want to cover up that little flat part, so I just decided to put this piece of Tim Holtz ephemera on the top. And you'll see for this piece, I only put glue on the side and the bottom so that if I want to use this as a little tuck, I can. And I'm going to do the same exact thing for this piece of scrap paper. This is also from the Tim Holtz Backdrops paper collection. And I also have a bunch of these leaves. This is just one of the many elements that I prepared before starting these projects. So I have a lot of different colors and inked them up a little bit different ways. So I thought this really looked good on the page. I like the pop of color. And now I'm just adding a few extra little pieces and elements for interest. And now this is the Tim Holtz, the Foundry Wax. So I'm using a stamp that looks kind of like a screw, and I'm going to just stamp that on in different places. And what you do, you use your heat gun to set it, and it works very quickly. And then you can see I just took some of those numbers from the die cut numbers and just rubbed to get the excess off my hand and onto the numbers just for a little bit of extra something with them. So I like the way that looks too. And now for the other side, I'm going to put together my pocket. So as always, I ink up all of my edges before I glue things down. And I'm doing the pocket so it's going to be on the one side, but I'm going to overlap a pocket on the other side. Just makes it kind of fun. So if you remember, the first video that I did was putting together the tag books in 2 different ways. And for this one, I used the tab binding. So I decided to just go ahead and put my page dividers on each page of the book. The other books that I do are the accordion hinge, so they open differently. And I'm moving on to another spread here that I'm doing, and this is just some of the paper that I embossed and inked up to prepare for decorating some of my books here. And here you can see some of the leaves that I'm just playing around and seeing what colors I like here and what I want to use on this page. I did a lot of fussy cutting, so I was excited to kind of use some die cuts that I didn't have to cut things out, could just use those elements, make it easy, and also the Tim Holtz, the sticker book, and some of the ephemera pieces that I use. I wanted a little bit of orange paper, so I ran this through my embossing machine and just inked up this orange paper. But after all that, I decided that I didn't want to use the orange paper, so here I decided to use some of the Tim Holtz backdrop papers. And also the dolls that are here, those are Tim Holtz dolls also, and I just decided to put them in the frame. And you'll see a lot of the dolls, and I have a couple photographs also. They are all Tim Holtz, and I used his crackle paint on top. This orange piece that I'm using, this is also a die cut, and I did a couple of them and just pulled them apart and broke them into pieces. And now my paper lace, you guys know I love this stuff. It was so perfect, especially with Halloween. It's very grungy and dark looking. I really loved using it. So here I'm showing you, I put the doll, layered up the paper, and I just went around with my sewing machine, did some messy sewing to hold all the pieces and layers together. So I wanted something to be in the background there, and you can see here I am just going once again just on those 2 sides so that I could tuck something behind there if I wanted to. And so now that that's done, just adding a few extra little elements. This purple paper is one of the papers that I did the stamping and embossing glaze on, and I really liked that because it has the smooth, the texture to it, and also the shine. These bottles, these are also a die cut, and I used these for my paper doll video that I just did previously, but I just wanted to add a little something to them, so I did some stamping. And now I am playing around with my moons. I used a lot of the yellow paper for full moons. So you can kind of see I'm using all the same elements. I have my paper lace, my embossed papers, I have my moons and all my different die cuts. I have my Tim Holtz ephemera. Now this little piece of paper I just got from Julia Ward, one of my Diva sisters, and I thought it was such a great idea, just using strips that you have, you know, and little scraps, and you just sew on them. And on this left side, oh my goodness, guys, if you would see my desk, I just had little pieces, scrap pieces of paper, tiny little things torn apart all over my desk. Because you can see I'm just taking little pieces of scraps. It's really about color and texture for me here right now, making sense of it, kind of just collaging. And also here, the bottle, when I glue this down, you can see once again, I kind of leave that one side open so I can tuck something behind it, maybe a little surprise, little something there. And here I'm adding that little piece of purple. I really liked bringing purple into this project. And just Halloween in general, I love the purple color. So here I'm back to my bottles and just adding a little bit to them, decorating them a little bit. Oh, and the mask that I just put on my lady, those are also from the Tim Holtz sticker book. So there are two different kinds of masks. There are some hats in there, skulls, and all the different Halloween sayings. And now I'm just adding a little bit of bling. Of course, we have to have a little bit of bling on the front here. Now I'm just playing around a little bit more with some elements, and I have this fuzzy yarn. This is what I decide to put on the front and then also the back tag. And I did sew those on so that they were just nice and stuck on there. And I'm just using these bottles for now just to show the little pockets that I'm making. I do have some ephemera that I made, and I'm going to use that to stuff these when I'm finished. But so I'm on to a new book, and for the cover of this one, I have this frame. It's an embossed frame, and I'm just kind of playing around, trying to figure out what I want to use in the background, and I decide to use the one that you're seeing right now. Now, by the time I rip all the paper off, this is really small and you can't even really, well, I don't know, can't even really tell what it was, but I still like it and it's okay because those edges that I tore off, I make a really cool belly band later on. So now I'm just kind of playing around with these dolls, and I add a little bit of paper lace here and kind of make it look like the girl is sitting on it. So also when I'm collaging on pieces of paper that I'm going to glue down onto my tag, you can see here I did some sewing around it first and then I glue it down. And that's because I don't want the sewing to go through to the other side of the tag. It's also very difficult to do if your tag is too thick. So something to keep in mind also. And here you can see I'm using the double-sided tape just to hold that in place. And there I finished my sewing, put some fuzzy yarn there, and now I'm going to add some masks to these kids on the front. Here you can see the orange pieces of paper that I did the die cut, and I just tore them into tiny little pieces just to add pops of color everywhere. And I also used, I think I used some purple paper. And there's that little strip I put at the bottom. So thank you, Julia. And now just playing around with a few more little pieces and putting my sentiments on the front. And I think I'm pretty well finished with this cover. And now I'm at the point where I'm going to start doing that belly band idea that I had. My belly band actually, it ends up being kind of thick or kind of wide, I guess I should say. But here you can see I'm just sort of layering these strips on top of each other. And I wanted it to be flush at the bottom and the top, so I just add a few more pieces of paper to do that, to make that happen. And then once again, after I get all my papers fitted together, I did run this also through my sewing machine. I really liked this idea to use with my scraps, and I just liked all the colors and everything together, and I felt better about using the frame that I ripped apart. So now I'm just kind of playing around with what I want to use as my focal point, and then I'm going to run this through my sewing machine. One thing is the paper doll that I wanted to use on the left side is also a close-up of a face, so you can see it here. So I decided to use my belly band on a different page because I didn't want two of the same types of images right together. So on this side, instead of the belly band, I'm just making one of those double-sided pockets. And now you can see I am going to glue my little belly band thing down. So when I'm gluing it, you can see that it's pretty wide, but I can still kind of tuck something underneath there, and I still like it. So now the frame that I was ripping apart, I'm going to use that, and you can see I kind of skipped ahead a little bit here, but this is a photo that I just cut out those birds in the background there. I thought that looked kind of fun. And now I'm using a piece of the scrap paper from my die cut. I kind of like that jagged edge that it has, and decided to use that for a pop of purple and put my sentiment on top of it. So I'm just adding a few little elements here and there, and then I'm going to put my sentiment on the top there. And I seem to have a thing with glasses and masks and things, so I had to give her a mask. And now I'm just adding a few little bits and pieces, and then I will move on to my next page. And now I have this pinkish purple envelope, and I wanted to use that and maybe do a flip. I come back to that, but for now on the back of this book, I decided to use this frame. I've had this orange frame since I was working on circus stuff, and so I thought this is perfect to use, and that's a Tim Holtz photo on the inside. And here you can see how I craft. I just was pushing down the paper to make sure the glue was sticking on one side, and I decided that this page needed a moon. And now I'm back to the back page. So I know I've mentioned it quite a bit in my videos, but I use Art Glitter brand glue. And so that it has a really great hold, and that's pretty much my go-to glue to use. But for the frame, since it is a paper clay frame, I did use my E6000 glue for that. So now I'm moving on to a new page here. And I bring back that little envelope, and so that I can work on my flip that I want to do, my flip up. So I'll have that on the left side, and for the closure, this is just one of my, a hole punch, so a circle from a hole punch, and I just have that. I put glue on the bottom half of it, and that will just hold my envelope down. And I had to add a little bat on that. So now I'm just sort of flipping through to see my progress so far. I've got the little flip done. And this is also a die cut that somebody sent to me. I've had this one for a while, and I thought this is perfect with that envelope on the other side. So I use this with another Tim Holtz paper doll. I'm kind of deciding which doll I want to use here, and this guy wins. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching the process. If you like hearing me talk, please leave a comment and let me know that you prefer this over the music or vice versa.